Listen, we got to give credit where credit is due, and right now, Julius Randle deserves some credit. I'm about to talk about that next, right here on Riding with the Knicks. Welcome back to Riding with the Knicks. This is the channel where we talk about the team that we love, the New York Knicks, the season as it unfolds, and the deeper themes that we can pull out of the game and apply to our lives to be the best versions of ourselves. Now listen, if you're here for the first time, I wanted to say thank you so much for clicking on this video. I invite you to hit the subscribe button. It's a small commitment for you, but it means a ton to me as a creator. And if you like videos like this, I'm sure you'll like this channel. It's a brand new channel and we're growing it to 500. Soon enough, I'm about to release and announce a contest that you're not gonna wanna miss. But in today's video, I'm gonna take 3 clips from Julius Randle's post-game press conference, not after this past game, but after the game before that against the Oklahoma City Thunder, because I think that there are some really valuable things that we need to pull out and learn from, and give the man some credit where credit is due. So, before we get into that, let's look at Julius Randle's numbers over the past 7 games. The guy's balling. He's balling. And you might say, hey, they're not resulting in wins, but I think that there's more to the wins-loss than just Julius Randle's performance. Listen, he's scoring 29.5 points over the last 7 games. He's putting up 12.4 rebounds, and he is dishing out 6.3 assists. That's unreal. He's killing it. He's balling. And he's doing it while the team is having a really unfortunate year. He's doing it while the media is calling for him to get traded. Like right after the media was calling for him to get traded. He's doing it while people are evaluating his body language and his effort and his emotion. And you know what? I want to say, like, what do you want? Like, what do we want? Do we want Ben Simmons type activity, type behavior? Get offended and just don't play? Do we want to take the guy that just takes his ball and goes home? Or do you want the guy who's emotional and angry and like tells everybody to shut the F up and like goes out there and puts up big numbers anyway? Of course we want the second. Like, of course we want that. And so he's balling, and he balled out last year, and you know, all of a sudden we want to trade him or at the trade deadline, or we want to get rid of him, or we want to like drag him, or like, why? Because he's emotional? Because he's upset about the state of the team? Aren't we all? Of course we are. And so, what's the real problems here? The real problems might be with the roster. The real problems might be with the head coach. Julius Randle isn't playing with a real point guard right now. And I'm not saying that there's not one on the team, but there's not a great one or an established one on the team who's healthy. So that's front office. And there's one on the G League team, and you know, the coach won't play him. So he's not getting a point guard to play alongside him. You know, so what do you want him to do? He's doing his best, and his best is pretty damn good over the last 7 games. So let's look at these clips. I picked 3 clips from his conversation after this game, and before I play this first one for you, I want you to realize what he's going through in the moment. He's basically just realized that the season has slipped away. Yeah, there's a chance they can make a push for this, you know, the play-in games and stuff, but like, they just blew a 20-plus point lead to a tanking Oklahoma City Thunder team without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander playing. Like, that's what just happened. He just came out of that. Like, he's just feeling all that, like the blow of defeat, all of that, he's just feeling. And now he's got the media starting to pick at him. And the way that they're asking these questions is they're trying to get a soundbite out of Julius Randle, who they think is this emotional guy. And they're going to try to just get a soundbite, make a headline out of it, and make a quick buck on a few clicks. Now, I'm so glad that Julius Randle responded the way he did. And this is at the end of the video, what I'm going to talk about how you and I can grow and learn from what he did and how he responded. So let's run the first clip and then we'll talk about it.
Like in that second quarter especially, it's like you were grabbing the ball and you were very noticeably like racing up the court. Is there, I mean, this might be a dumb question, but is there a reason why you don't just do that on the court?
Probably should. But a lot of times we're working our half-court offense every day, so you know, especially time to score, you got to recognize it sometimes. And us come down and try to execute and get a good shot, especially off of makes. But I don't really think our offense is the problem. Like, it was 110, 106 for a long time in that fourth quarter, and we got stops. So maybe the offense is a problem then, but they scored 127 points. That's more the issue.
So the question was, you've been running hard up the court with the ball the first 3 quarters. How come you're not doing that in the fourth quarter? Straight up, like that's poking at him. And he said, probably should. Probably should. He talked about wanting to run set plays in the fourth. He didn't drag the coach, but he said, listen, that's not really my decision. We probably should run with some more speed. But, whatever. He did not respond. He did not take the bait. He did not get emotional. But he said, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Like, we probably should do that. We need to play with more pace in the half court, especially in the fourth quarter. But then he said, which is totally like not getting stuck in the frame of the question, which is one of the most valuable skills you can learn in life, is do not get stuck in the frame that people are trying to put you in when they ask you tough questions. They're trying to stick you in a frame, but he thinks outside of the frame in this instance, and he says, also, the offense isn't the problem. Boom, broke the frame and said, you know what, your question is kind of wrong, because the offense actually isn't the problem. We let up 127 points. Not okay. Beautiful job, Julius Randle. Let's run the next clip.
Pace at the end. You think legs is a factor that you got several guys up around 40?
No, I'm not gonna blame it on that. Whenever I'm blaming on fatigue, I train myself every day to be prepared for those situations. So I'm not gonna blame it on legs. We just gotta find a way to be more conscious and aware.
So this question is pushing in on Tibbs is playing the guys too much. Are you just tired, Julius? Are you just worn out? Is it Tibbs' fault? That's what they're saying. Is it Tibbs' fault? Is he playing you too many minutes? And he said, I'm never going to blame fatigue. I train myself. Even if he was dog tired, and there's lots of clips you can find out there of him like looking real tired in the fourth. Even if he was, he's like, you're not getting me on that. I'm not going to say I'm tired. I'm not going to bite on that. I train for this. This is my job. This is my life. I come in peak physical condition. You're not going to put me in a position where it looks like I don't work hard enough, spin a story to like make it about me not trying hard or not being in the right physical condition. You're not going to use this to try to get on my coach and drive a more like a deeper wedge between him and the team right now. No, we're not going to do that. No. Like, I'm in peak physical condition. I'm ready to go. I'm never going to blame fatigue. I train myself. Beautiful job. And he's doing all this while not being defensive either. He's like really in the conversation with them. He's really chatting, like he's really there. Let's run the third clip.
Baisley tied the game in regulation. What did you see on that play?
They made a good move, solid move. We were up 2. I think the biggest thing was we weren't trying to help because we didn't want to give up the three or the offensive rebound. But he just made a good move, made his defender well, made a good move, stepped through. Good shot.
So the play, if you didn't see it, the play that they're talking about in that clip is Mitchell Robinson is, he's an elite defender, but he gets, this Baisley puts a good move on him, and he gets 2. The Knicks were up 2 at the end of the game. Baisley puts a good move on Mitch, and he lays it in for 2 under the rack. Great step, great footwork. I remember watching it and being like, he got him. So the guy, the reporter asked a question about that. And, that's like that sinking moment where like the tide turns, they tied it up, it's about to go to overtime, and it eventually leads to the loss. But Julius's response was like, he knew what was going on in that moment of the game. He was not disconnected. He was very, very connected into the moment of that game, because his response was, first of all, he gave Baisley props. He made a good move. Like, straight up, he made a good move. And he said, also, we weren't looking to help Mitchell. Like, we weren't looking to pull the help defense over. Why? Because we didn't want it to kick out and get a 3. Like, because then, game over. Right? So we don't want to help because we don't want to give up the 3, and we don't want to help because we don't want to give up an offensive rebound. Right? So there was intentionality going into that, and Julius Randle was able to be chill and respond and give himself, hold on one second. This is, if you're watching this part of the video, like if you got to this part, good for you. I got to tell you, the whole point of this channel is that I'm driving home from work or I'm driving to work. I've got this phone on a mount, and I'm keeping my eyes on the road. I'm being responsible, all that good stuff. But that's the whole riding with the Knicks. Like, that's the whole riding part. You know, it's because we're driving and talking about the Knicks like I would be with a friend in the car here. I get to talk with you. I just drove past a car that was driving on its rim, not driving on a flat tire, not driving on a tire that was like starting to get shredded, driving on a rim. And I looked at it and I said, I gotta keep making this video. And I said, nah, we're gonna break that wall right now. I gotta let you in on that. All right, let's get back to it. Right, so he gave him props. He said, we're not gonna help because we didn't want to give it the three. We didn't want to give it the offensive rebounds. He was clued into the game. They made the right basketball decision, and the guy made a good move. Basically made a good move. All credit to him. And so those are three clips that show a side of Julius Randle that's not getting reported on enough right now. And we need to support this man. He is a good player, playing at a high level, and he's still relatively young. Like, he fits with the team. We need to get a point guard in there. We need to focus on the real problems, and we need to be excited when a guy's playing well and carrying himself like a leader. And so for me and for you, what do? Listen, people are going to want to control the narrative around your life. If they're not happy with you, if they're upset with you, if they don't like what you get to do and they don't get to do, people are going to want to control the narrative. And for some reason, we get sucked into that, and we want to be defensive because we feel like we have to speak the truth. We've got to say, no, this is the way it's really going. And then all of a sudden, we're fighting our own battles. We are just joining in. We're getting sucked into that person controlling the narrative because we want to say, no, this is the true narrative. This is what really has happened. Don't get sucked into defending yourself. Do not get sucked into defending the narrative and feeling like you got to get pulled in. Break the frame and let your life do the talking. The truth will always be revealed. The light shines on the darkness, and the darkness can't comprehend it. The truth will always be revealed. Now listen, I often share encouraging messages like that on this channel, but I often share them with a disclaimer that if you are being physically or emotionally or spiritually abused, I'm not talking about that. You must fight back. You must talk about it. You must share it with someone who you trust. In those situations, you must. But all the little chatter, all the people trying to get over on you, all the little manipulation, all the little people trying to pull you down when you start to rise, don't get sucked in. Don't give them the credit or the value of pulling you down or you engaging. Let the truth expose itself and let your life do the talking. That's all I gotta say. If you're still watching, you gotta hit subscribe at this point. You watched the whole video. You're riding with the Knicks too. I'm excited to watch how the Knicks unfold. Maybe Tibbs won't stay the rest of the year. I hope he does, because I don't think like losing the coach really creates continuity. Like, maybe we can, maybe we can get some great development out of these young guys over the course of the rest of the year. We're not strapped in bad contracts. We can make some moves. I'm a Knicks fan, ride or die. I will be riding with the Knicks. I hope that you are too. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.